Kevin Davies, and I'm the founder of Hop Compost. As mentioned, I've been an entrepreneur for just about as long as I could work, and Hop is my second company. My first is a recycling company called Green Start, which I founded in Calgary in 2010. With Green Start, we grew to implement the recycling programs for companies like Lululemon, Hyatt, Starbucks, and Earls. And through implementing all these recycling programs, by the time I was in second year of university, I came to recognize one key thing. At all of our food industry clientele, about 40% of food is wasted. But I'd also learned a second key thing, which is that the vast majority of this food waste is actually wasted due to a series of design and logistics challenges. So food waste is more of a symptom of a greater issue. So in recognizing the root cause, we're able to trace this back to a simple reason. The vast majority of compost facilities across North America use a method of composting that was common to our ancestors thousands of years ago, and it really hasn't advanced since then. This method of composting is known as the windrow method of composting, and applying it, food waste is laid out into rows and fields where these exposed piles rot for anywhere between 6 months and 2 years. So the odors from these compost facilities are so intense that the facilities can't get zoning approval to operate near populations or cities. And it's in these cities that we're actually generating the waste. So there's a really significant inefficiency in transporting food waste on an average 2-hour hauling round trip to go from the sources to the processing of the waste in rural areas. And really, it's this logistics problem that has prevented compost hauling from being adopted. So we're at a point now where about 1 in every 3 pounds of waste in landfill is compostable. So we're running out of landfill space in Canada. There's fewer than 20 years of landfill space remaining in most of our major existing landfills. So compostable waste is a big target that I'd wanted to work on from an early stage. But it took a more personal tipping point to actually get me into Hop. When my dog Willie was 2 years old, he was poisoned by fertilizer in our family garden. So Willie developed debilitating pancreatitis and luckily was nursed back to health after about 2 weeks. But through his poisoning, I came to recognize a simple fact, which is it's incredibly counterintuitive to use a product legally labeled as a poison to grow our food. But when I delved into research, I found that the issue was even more complex. In areas with intense fertilizer use, it's been proven in peer-reviewed scientific studies that there's as much as a 6 times increase in brain cancer and a 2 times increase in non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So the atmospheric effects of fertilizer are about as concerning as secondhand smoke. We just don't hear about it as much. But the bigger issue is that when farmers try to transition out of fertilizer use into using compost as an organic alternative, most compost products are of such low quality that farms suffer a 50 to 80% drop in their crop yields. This can again be traced back to the production method. Compost facilities process unknown waste from public haulers, and they do so in exposed conditions without process control. So it follows suit that without any process control, there's really no quality in these products that can be reliable for an organic farm. So with Hop, we set out to solve the chemical growth and waste of food. And all solutions were pointing to compost as a potential, but we knew that in order to get to the solution, we would need to re-engineer the composting process. And in particular, we knew that we would have to make composting an intercity process that could solve the hauling inefficiency so that food waste could be saved from landfill. And once we had those materials in our own facility, we knew that we would have to introduce computerized quality control to actually develop a product worthy of today's organic farming. So we set out with Hop to accomplish this when I was still in my 3rd year of university. At the time, I partnered with a tech company based out of the UK to develop what I thought was the world's first computerized composting system at industrial scale, but we had run into patents. And all of those patents were traced back to a brilliant team of plant biologists and electrical engineers based out of New Zealand who developed a phenomenal composting technology. Using their technology, composting didn't take 6 months to 2 years. It took just 11 days. And the way that they accomplished this was by enclosing the composting process within computerized vessels. These vessels are about 60 feet long, and every 2 meters there's data nodes that are tracking live data on the compost process. And using the live data, there's an automated response every minute that creates a perfect sealed composting condition for microbiological activity. So utilizing this, the technology company had seen some market success. They had sold the technology to universities and oddball work camps in Australia and New Zealand. And in order to demonstrate that it was capable of being deployed at a university, they had to make it odor-free so that it could apply for on-site waste treatment. And to me, this pointed to a much bigger opportunity. If it's odor-free, I think that we had the opportunity not to deploy this technology for the restaurants of a university, but for the restaurants of a city. So with Hop, we reimagined a compost facility as being less like a sprawling rural farm and more like an inner city brewery with a craft focus on product that could be quality controlled with computerized optimization. So deploying this technology, we began to see unique results. With Hop, we had this moment that was almost like Disney meeting Pixar. And we worked with this New Zealand-based company to initially develop a commercial partnership for North America so that we could be the only company to use it in processing food waste, effectively bringing it to our continent for the first time. We've since purchased that technology company and its assets, so we're vertically integrated from a patent portfolio through to waste hauling and through to a finished product that's being applied to farmers' soil. So effectively what this looks like is Hop has created the first inner-city compost facilities in Canada. Deploying this technology in Calgary, Vancouver, and now Toronto, we've cut about 85% of the hauling trip that you would typically see to process food waste. Because of our unprecedented efficiency, we've been able to bring our service not just to sustainable market leaders in the food industry, but mass players like Starbucks, Whole Foods, and the Hyatt. So working together, we've now saved over 10 million pounds of food waste from landfill. And in processing this waste, we produce a product that has about 7 to 8 times more nutrient content than a typical compost. So using our product, farmers have seen as much as a 48% increase in organic crop yields. So in addition to being applied at farmers' fields, the product is available to household gardeners, bringing mass-scale solutions for people who have dogs like Willie. But what's great is that this is scalable. With Hop, we have been careful to monetize every step of the operation. The company generates revenue on waste collections with our commercial clientele. We generate revenue on organic compost sales to farms and retailers. And we generate revenue on carbon credits, having now saved over 15 million pounds of emissions. And I credit this kind of sustainability to the economic imperative that we tie in with Hop's mission. I really believe that the future of sustainability lies in mingling environmentalism with technology and profit. And with Hop, that's enabled us to attract investment that enables us to grow. So the company has taken off by over 500% in the last year. We look forward to developing closed loops for local food in several major cities going forward, and hopefully bring this innovation to a city near you. Thank you.